Recently, Ms. Magazine invited its readers who'd had abortions to sign a petition basically stating that abortion should be legal and available to all women. Now, it is not likely that a secular magazine would invite its readers to sign a pro-life petition condemning abortion. So today we ask a very simple question. Why? My name is Pedro, and this is Catholic Focus. To help us with this ever-important question, we have two wonderful guests, two pro-life gurus. Natalie Hudson, Executive Director of Toronto Right to Life. Natalie, it's so good to have you here.
Thanks, Pedro.
Just tell us quickly, Right to Life, what do you do?
We're an educational organization, so we're non-political, and we work to educate the public. We're mostly in schools and universities, doing talks and, educating on the life issues.
No, she's good. If you ever want, bring her to your school or your organization. That's great. And Camilla Gunnerson is the editor of Life Canada News. That's right. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Camilla, and she's also formerly with the Reaching Minds Through Media campaign as an assistant. So Reaching Minds Through Media, can you just tell us a little bit about what that is?
Sure. The Reaching Minds Through Media campaign is a project of Alliance for Life Ontario, and it's about getting pro-life commercials on the television.
Okay, yeah, and we will talk about these commercials because we have some of them to show. But I want to go back to Ms. Magazine because, granted, it's a feminist publication, so I don't know, but what are the chances that the other petition, someone saying, I regret my abortion, is it possible that we would see that on any other secular magazine, Chatelaine?
No. I think one of the struggles that we have in the pro-life movement is actually getting a fair hearing. Ms. Magazine, a fair hearing, yeah.
Double standard.
Yeah, pretty much so. I mean, I think they would admit that they take a pro-abortion stance.
They being?
Oftentimes, these
magazines.
Sort of feminist-type magazines, the fashion magazines, would actually make a statement that this is something that they do. They're pro-abortion. It's taken as a sort of carte blanche woman's right.
Yeah, but what about other like Maclean's or like other secular magazines? It might not be.
You get with Maclean's, you get reporting, like for instance, Maclean's this summer did a very good article on the sterilization of First Nations people in Canada with the use of Depo-Provera.
Yeah.
And what they were saying in there, we agree with, but they would never actually attack abortion itself.
So they won't actually go out and say abortion is a crime.
Right. They'll talk about peripheral issues, but they'll never actually talk about the issue of abortion itself and ever expose anything negative about abortion.
So these are magazine articles that you're talking about.
Yes.
But in terms of advertising, to your knowledge, there's no advertising in any of these magazines?
Not that I've ever seen.
Like a pro-life, to your knowledge?
No, well, we've had experience where we've tried to put pro-life ads in newspapers.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're rejected, or they want us to change the text.
Really? Really? I want to get back to that, but first I just want to go back to, again, Ms. Magazine and the petition. Is there the equivalent on the other side, a campaign?
There's the Silent No More Awareness campaign,
tell us about
which actually
that.
Came out very strongly when this Ms. Magazine petition came out, because I think they had 5,000 signatures. Silent No More...
Sorry, who had 5,000?
The Ms. Magazine had 5,000 signatures. The Silent No More Awareness campaign has many, many more thousands signatures and affidavits and stories of women who have regretted their abortions.
Right.
And far be it from Ms. Magazine to actually publish that.
Yeah, of course not.
Right. So you see the bias.
So, and you recently here, Toronto Right to Life, ran the Silent No More
billboards, yes.
The billboards.
Yes.
And what was your experience with that?
Interesting. It was very interesting. We worked with Pattison Advertising.
Okay.
And we ran 15 street-level ads and one large billboard on the Queensway in downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. We had a couple of issues with, I don't know if it was just bad luck or if it was sort of planned this way, but some of the billboards, some of the locations that they gave us were
not great locations.
Not great locations.
Yes,
we had some shrubbery, covering some of the billboards, or fences, or our large billboard actually had a building go up right in front of it. So
And
that
it was
you
falling
couldn't
down,
actually,
yeah.
you couldn't actually see it until you were virtually parallel with the billboard.
Yeah.
So there were things like that.
It could be a coincidence,
Could
right?
be coincidence.
Yeah.
Some of the locations were great. We had a great location in downtown Toronto, but there were complaints, and so they did move it.
Now, I just want to say we've been showing the pictures of the ad so people can see it, because I don't think the ad is a particularly offensive ad or anything. It's just basically saying we regret. So how can you tell someone that what they're feeling is right
It's
or
wrong.
wrong?
Yeah,
But we have the
that's the beauty of
commercial.
the ad.
We have the commercial, so we're going to show this commercial, and you guys can see what you think.
When I found out I was pregnant, I thought I would lose my job.
My boyfriend told me to choose between him and the baby.
I worried about staying in school.
I was already struggling to care for one child. My parents told me I wasn't ready to be a mom, so I had an abortion.
I had physical problems afterwards.
I went from relationship to relationship.
I hated myself.
I started to have nightmares.
I cried when I saw a pregnant woman. I tried to commit suicide.
Couldn't bond with the child I later had.
I tried to numb my pain with alcohol.
I struggled with depression.
I had trouble conceiving again.
You see, abortion didn't solve our problems.
It just created different ones.
Each of us thought we were the only ones struggling afterward.
Now we realize many women regret their choice.
That's why we are silent no more.
We found help and healing, and you can too. Call or go online today.
See, I'm going to say it again because I think that this ad is a great ad. It's sort of
It's non-judgmental. Like it's not it's not making
it's not saying
an absolute claim.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's saying this is the experience of these women.
Exactly.
And they don't like what has happened to
yeah.
them, and maybe other women should be informed of this.
Yeah, it's okay to talk about it.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah.
And it's basically just advertising a service, right? So if you had this experience and you don't feel good about it or you need help dealing through it, here's a service. I don't think anybody could dispute that.
No. It's perfectly, obviously legitimate. And
No, but can you think of other, because there's several messages, I suppose, that you could, like, what would be the key message as pro-life organizations that you would want to get out there?
Abortion hurts women.
Yeah.
And
Most
abortion
definitely.
kills a baby.
And I was just going to say, well, then as the Reaching Minds Through Media campaign, would you say that it's a woman? I'm trying to remember the ads.
Yeah, there's several ads. So there's sort of two audiences that we're trying to reach. We're trying to reach out to the woman who is experiencing a crisis pregnancy and get her help.
So basically, if you're pregnant and you need help, call this number.
Exactly.
Very simple.
1-800 24-hour help
Yeah.
available. And then there's also the general public who is conflicted about the abortion issue.
Okay.
And the research that indicates that for Ontario, we definitely know that 52% of Ontarians are conflicted on the abortion issue, and that means that they recognize that abortion is taking the life of an unborn child, but they feel it should be a woman's right. And so there's that dichotomy. How do you...
But here's my question, because again, it's advertising, right? And advertising is an emotional, especially in television. So how do you reach their mind with facts, which is how you, I presumably, convince people who are on the fence, but it's still an emotional, like, I think the more effective ads are the ones that...
Yep. This is the kind of research, these commercials were designed using the kind of research that uses right brain research, which is speaking to your emotional side. And so you watch the commercials, it's not a heavy message, where it's saying abortion takes the life of an unborn child. It's a very subtle message, and you hear it over and over again, and you start to see that maybe abortion isn't such a good thing, and it helps the viewer sees the woman and maybe projects into the future, and that she can get through this. And there's various commercials, so they kind of all have it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to actually watch one of them right now, so let's do that.